Right. Talking about my NDE and the years going to 2012. I'm gonna keep this short and simple. Basically, when I had my NDE, I saw the future, uh, just like most people see the future. And the reason why people see the future, as a matter of fact, see the future and the past, is because time stops when you're dead. Um, when you die, there is no time because time is just an illusion that we have created here to control and manipulate the human being. And you know, uh, dead people don't see time. I mean, there's no time. It's just everything's all at once. So you have the ability to see way far into the future. And I was able to see the changes in the environment on the Earth. I was able to see, the different way that the way that people dress differently in the future, what they'll be wearing, how people look in the future, not only the future but way back in the past, and also, their general well-being, like if they're very happy, they're smiling, or they're very sad, whatever. I saw all of this. I saw great changes. One of the things that I just wanted to tell you is, running down to the year 2012, it is important that I did see a speeding up of time. So that means time sped up dramatically. That means what you would feel as time passing, slowly would become very quickly. And up until about 2012, time would stop altogether. Like, time would no longer be a reality. There would be no time. So there'd be no measurement of time. It just all stopped. It completely stopped. And you would see the future, you would see the past, and it would open up all these different dimensions. And also, not only opening up the dimensions, but opening up any wormholes or rips in space-time, being able to go to any place in time or space. And so it'd basically be an end to what we really know of it. In between 2012 and now, whatever I just said, comes directly from God, comes directly from this force, this love. But between now and 2012, there will be many events happening, both real and conceived. There will be a lot of deception. There will be a lot of definitely a lot of pain and suffering. That's the other thing that I was taught during my near-death experience, was there will be an increase of death, dying, and there will be a very high increase of disease, a very high increase of changes in the earth. I mean, the structure, just the weather and so forth. I did see some pretty violent wind storms. I've even seen something in the matter of water, like it seemed like a big wave just kind of passed by over the treetops, which was kind of strange as well. I've seen dramatic changes, but then I seen kind of a calm space, a calm area where it was okay. One of the things that I was taught in my ND was that there will be, and there is at this time, massive pain and suffering in the people on this planet right now as we speak, and it'll only get worse and worse and worse. And this is not caused by any natural or any of God's plans. This is caused by human beings inflicting this pain and suffering upon each other. So it's up to us to stop this, and it's up to us, each one individual, each 6 billion individuals, to stop this and to really see the truth. And it's all up to us. We have the power. This is the truth. This comes from God. This comes from this source, this energy field, and this comes from the other side. Another thing about the other side is that when you die, okay, so when anyone dies, the only thing that can come across from the living to the dead is love. So if you want to communicate with dead people, that people have deceased, not to mention that reincarnation is real, okay? So people do get reincarnated, but in between reincarnation and living, in between that, there's this other world, this world of that's not so dense, that you can communicate directly to. But the form of communication you must use and can only use, and the only frequency that you can use, is love. So if you have this unconditional or passionate love for a deceased one, then you should communicate that through your feelings. And I say this importantly, through your feelings, because that's how they communicate, through their feelings. So dead people still have their feelings intact. And also living people have their feelings. And that's the strongest form of communication. That's the only way you can communicate. And I really encourage people to use this form of communication. I was able to communicate this. It was harder for me to communicate it back through to living people, but the people that were living already that had sufficient amounts of love were communicating that to me very, very strongly. Another thing that dead people see is they see the future. So usually if a loved one is crying and they're in pain and suffering because of their death, they see that. And it almost it makes them want to come back and to comfort those loved ones from feeling that pain of and a lot of the dead people, a lot of like especially myself, want to tell the people in the living world that that they're not really dead, and that like I wasn't really dead, that I was still, my mind and heart was still intact, my feelings and my mind was still intact, and that I had a choice to reincarnate or to come back to my old body, and that everything was going to be all right, and that I could still feel the unconditional love that the loved ones are still sending to the other side. It's kind of like a currency, kind of like money. But it's way more than that. It's something very, very important in the universal way of things. And so yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I want to tell people that if they're a man now, they'll be reincarnated as a woman in their next life. If they're a woman now, they will be reincarnated as a man in their next life. But there is that exception that you can stay in that void, in that world, in that spirit world, for as long as you want, till infinity. And you can actually live in any world you want, any dimension you want, and you can reincarnate to anything you choose. You've got to be careful what you want to reincarnate into, because once you are there, then it's not so easy to get out. As for my example, I came back to my old body, but now I'm pretty much stuck. So I do encourage people to send their love feelings to their dead relatives or their loved ones, because they do feel that. I'm 100% sure. And that they do see the future, and these dead ones, these deceased people, they do see your pain if you are in pain, and they do want to send you a message.